Hello, good morning. I'm laughing here because Connie just walked in the picture. You guys know Connie. She's like, everybody who orders from me, she said she's starting to get to know everybody so well and she really would love to see you guys. So, hi you guys, good morning. And I'm laughing because I'm like, come in the picture, come say hi. And she's like, no, tell everyone I said hi. So good morning, I say hi, Connie says hi. Hello, Cheryl. Oh my gosh, into the blue creations, wow. Good morning, oh my gosh. Okay, good morning. Hey, hi Nancy. Nice to see you guys. Joanne here, Jewelry Talk here. So I thank you guys so much for joining me today. Hey, good morning. Yesterday, I met with my students from Intentional Metalsmithing. It was really fun. I had a really nice time. Hi, Paulette. And Paulette was there yesterday. Nice to see you again today. Hello, everybody. And Joanne was there. So today is Jewelry Talk, where I dress up a little bit more. These guys get, when I show up for Intentional Metalsmithing, I am just in the raw, kind of showing demos, showing different things like that. Today, I'm here just to look nice, right, guys? And I'm going to show you a demo today, too. So, to talk about things. So I usually like to just kind of talk about life and yoga and breathing and jewelry, and this is all about the other part of building jewelry besides the techniques. Although, hello everybody, nice to see everybody. Oh my gosh. I actually dressed up today in my layers. This won't be staying on too long because, it's actually hot in the 85s with humid out here in Cleveland. So, thank you so much. She says I look amazing. Thank you very much. Always good to wear just the different layers. For me with jewelry, it is about, to me, it's always about the technique. I love the technique. In fact, it's like, how can you describe the joy of watching your metal flow? How can you describe the joy of coming up with the beautiful filigree that's handmade, that wasn't bought, any other way? How can you come up with the joy of kind of replicating in an Algerian technique? You know what I mean? It's like researching. It's like I was talking yesterday about somebody had asked me about these little pieces and parts, and these actually are from India, and I'm super excited because in India, I would like to go and study the way they do their die presses. And I'm working on the die presses now. I know I gave you guys a freebie of the hand die presses, making those presses ourselves. And that's a film. Yay, your rings, yay. So, morning from San Francisco. How are you guys doing out there? Wonderful, that's where Christina is. There's Christina, she's near there, I think. So you guys have had some warm weather, I'm pretty sure. So, oh my gosh, you guys. Well, I'm so happy to see you guys here today. Today, I'm going to actually start, one of the things, I took a couple weeks off. I'm breathing because it's always good to, when you're going somewhere in the same motion, one of the things I've learned as I've gotten older is when I'm going in the same direction for quite some time and something doesn't quite feel right, it is always good to shut things down in your life, just as much as you can. If you have to go into work, but kind of walk, step back a couple steps. There's always inhales and exhales. And it's like when you're, inhaling and you're stepping back a little bit, you can focus and you can spend a little bit of time and nurture yourself a little bit. At the bottom of any type of stress or any type of anxiety, one of the things that we have a tendency to want to do is to keep plowing forward so we can forget about all of this stuff that we need to think about, and our jewelry gets crazy and it gets loud and it gets but to take these steps back into yourself and give yourself this time, especially as we're kind of all coming out of COVID, right guys? And so it's really nice to also remember to take this time back into yourself. It's summertime here. I want to be out at the beach and walking and sitting on my back porch with a glass of wine. And, so it's really good to take this time also, stepping back, breathing, connecting with myself. So I took 2 weeks off of Jewelry Talk, and I'm so happy to be back. I've been back a couple weeks now. And, I decided to incorporate a couple little techniques in here that, and I have one for you guys today, and also to talk about all this really important stuff. If you think about it, it's like, yes, you love seeing the techniques. I love doing the techniques. Getting on and doing a technique is actually easier. but to really get in and talk about the heart and soul of going into yourself and creating your work from the inside out, showing up at your bench clear. You know, this is, hi you guys, nice to see all you guys. Nice, thanks for joining me. So really, you know, as a jeweler, how do you come into your space and show up at your bench so you can really do this creative time of building and building? So, you know, here's some of the things. It's like, for me, I can tell you, and then I'm going to show you guys, I'll show you in a minute the structures. I want to show you guys just how I'm setting up pieces like this. Make sense? But I want to show it on silver, like where you guys will see. So in my work lately, and I say things because I hope it inspires you, Jewelry Talk is really about how to inspire you as an artist. It's also intentional metalsmithing is the course that I have, and it's about kind of a right brain approach of really, because I was trained as an artist and learned silversmithing. So it's really taking your art skills, bringing it into yourself, and you learn how to produce your own work that has your own vibration to it. Anytime you're doing your own work in life, your work will be more valuable, and you will always, always, always sell your work. I say that over and over to you guys again, but it really is true. I'm so excited because back at the beginning of COVID, I started my intentional metalsmithing class last April, a year ago, and I remember, or no, I guess it was July. It was a year ago. Wow, that's when my last intentional metalsmithing course started. So, you know, I would tell people, look, you guys, get in your studio. Yay, nice to see you. Oh, Cyclops Opera. Hi, there's the sculpturist that I love so much. Mwah, so nice to see you. Oh my gosh. Actually, that's my sister, you guys, who is so talented. Oh my gosh, so nice to see you. I love seeing all the people that come on and who I know and don't know. And it looks like there's a tarot reader. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. I'm gonna have to look you up. That's always really fun. I love watching a lot of things like this, you know. So, so for me, it's like you know, it's important for me now. It's like I was a little bit off. I'd say a little bit off. And I'm trying to get back into my roots again. How do I get back into my roots? I kind of look at some of my old work, or I look at some like old, ancient, go into a museum, into the field museums, and look at some of these. I look at some of these artifacts. Like, it doesn't have to be jewelry. You know, for me, it's like to be inspired by jewelry and to bring a fresh voice into your jewelry is going out into nature and kind of looking at leaves and trees and breathing and smelling. You know, it's like a 5 senses to be able to produce your work. And that's some of the things you do as an artist too. So, you know, going out and look at architecture and see the way things were built. I know you guys, a lot of people know of my first book, Making Connections. This one is on my Amazon list, but don't worry, I'm republishing this one and kind of making it current. But this piece, when I wrote this book, I walked around in the world I stopped doing any soldering, and I walked around the world for like a year, 2 years, and I just kind of absorbed the world into this book and absorbed, you know, I looked at heating ducts and architecture and everything I possibly could. And, and you know, went to field museums, and, you know, back early in time, jewelry and tools were built without really soldering. So how are things put together? You know, they were put together with cold joints, with wraps, with really interesting things. So one of my chapters in here, it was chapter 8. It's like a whole chapter on wire. You know, it's like, I don't like seeing like a lot of wire wrapped all over the place, but it is a chapter on wire with prongs and a lot of things. And I learned a lot of these skills in the museums, going to see, you know, how ancient pieces were put together and how they lasted hundreds of years. You know what I mean? Isn't that kind of interesting? You know, some of the old pieces you see is like ceramics with you know, or wood with metal stitches on there, or wooden stitches. Really kind of interesting that way. So the reason I'm talking about cold joints today, because ta-da, you know, cold joints, is I want to show you a little, you know, I want to show you a little technique. These were done cold joint. I'm not going to show you, I'm just going to show you like a little setup for this though, but not for cold joints. This piece here is a hollow form bangle bracelet, and in my mind I have I might do another one that's thinner. In my mind, I have an idea of putting these tall little pieces all the way around. You can see what it looked like. Wouldn't this be amazing from the side and wearing it to have these really kind of tall protrusions that are all soldered down, to your piece. So, that's kind of when I come in and think about how do I want to reinvent things again? What is my raw? I always go back to raw. I pulled this piece off the wall right now because this piece is raw. I made this piece years ago. Oh my gosh, maybe 10 years ago. I do a workshop in Puerto Vallarta, but I used to go over Day of the Dead, and we would walk the cemeteries, and we spent a lot of time in the cemeteries, and went to the Day of Dead parades, and kind of drank our tequila and trick or treated the beers to all the guys, and it's such a beautiful holiday. All the singers would be there, but we came back, and then we kind of reinterpreted what we saw in these cemeteries and put it into our work in a most beautiful way and honoring ancestors. So it's not like we're trying to be dismal. In this workshop years ago, in the cemeteries, we wanted to come back and honor our ancestors. Like, how do we see honoring our ancestors and building something, and for me, this was kind of the feel and the look of what I saw out at the cemetery. So it's kind of interesting. Hammered, raw, wraps, box forms that are blown open, just like really was interesting to me. And that was my interpretation. It was really fun to do and very profound. I love work that is profound. I love thinking, how do I want things done, So, hi you guys, nice to see you. So I do want to show you guys today, I am going to be taking off my beautiful jacket, I know, because it is warmer. Let me see, at least opening it, and popping on my, I'm going to pop on my glasses. So these are my Optivisors from Craft Optics. Love them so much. It's hard to wear earrings at work, but man, I can see close. Double love these. These are my magnifiers that help me to see everything. And yeah, kind of a cool photo, right? But I love these guys. So what I wanted to talk about today, and there was a few people that asked me, is how do you get this lift? How do you get this lift on your work? You guys may not really care right now, or may not have even thought about it in your work, but it's always good to bring in this information of how things are put together, and maybe someday you might be like, oh my gosh, I know how to use this skill. When I have people come out to my workshops, and also all of this intentional metalsmithing that we have, it's like you're getting a whole palette of techniques that you can bring back in your studio, and maybe you don't use them now, but you have that understanding, and it gives you freedom to build what you want to build. So that's what I love about, just having a whole handful of techniques, So for me, it's like I'm kind of stuck on, a little bit of everything, hollow forms, but I love bezels expanded, just expanded. I haven't been doing much caging, but I'm working on it right now again, going back into the caging again. So pretty well, you guys can see, just I'd start with traditional and move into other areas. So, all right, you guys. So what I want to show you is to get this lift. I have one little one here. Okay, so say I cut this little tiny piece ahead of time. See it? How do you what if I wanted to set up 100 of these all the same size? So, and let me show you why. You might need 100. I'm going to open up a page here because it all kind of ties in together. And back when I did all cold joins, you can see this piece right here, how there's negative space and height in there. I'm working on some pieces like that. This is done with riveting, but it's literally holding up the sheet of metal above it. I'll be doing more work like this in the future. But you can also see that I need all of these tubes the same size so my whole piece looks balanced and even. So that's, so to do that the same size, I'm going to show you a tool that I use. And then I'll show you this one too. Here's an enclosed one. During this time, you guys, I loved pink. So this is cold join, it's like I learned this technique by looking at heating ducts, and it literally is a cold join hollow form that has an open front in there. So I did all these techniques by this tubing. So I'm going to show you guys this tubing. Oops, there went my hammer. Okay, so say if I wanted to set up a piece like, I'm going to see if I can. Say if I wanted to, isn't this going to be gorgeous, you guys? Can you guys see it? It's like this is a hollow form with this on top, and then if I want to put a bezel on top, oh my gosh, I'm super excited. So I already worked on a piece like this once, and I know how to solder with it. But this is the tool, and also, you know, the pieces like this, if I want this height, these can just be soldered to the back of your bezel. So this is the tool that I use. This is from Rio Grande. This one has been sitting on my shelf for quite some time. Anytime you want to get in and dust off your tools that are sitting there for a while that aren't rusty, I just get in with nylon. This one just accumulated a little bit of dust, and you know, if there was rust inside, I'd want to put the WD-40. And this is my tubing that I'm using. This is sterling silver tubing. This is pretty big size tubing. I'm using a larger one so you guys can see it. This one is sterling silver, 3.56 millimeters, 12 inches in length. There's also beautiful little smaller sizes, all different sizes. This one is a 1.73, and it's tiny, but you can fit like an 18 gauge right through the center, and these are hollow tubing, so that's gonna be kind of interesting. Okay, so to cut this, I'm gonna bend this down now. You guys get to look at my messy, messy table, all right, guys? Sorry, but it's the way things are. You guys can see this here. Here's my tubing. You can see how messy my desk is, right? This is another piece that's smaller. I love this one. It's so easy to get around to. So the way that you adjust the walls, oops, I'll try with this one. I haven't adjusted it. Yeah, once you adjust it to size, this actually pulls out the stopper. So this stopper, wherever I set my stopper, is how long my tubing will be. So I'm gonna hold my hand just like this to set my stopper and open it up. And this is also how I have done, you know, cut the hinging. But you can see, here's where my jeweler's saw is gonna go, right through here. So you can see where I have to have my stopper right here. You know, so you can see the nice length that I'll be able to get in here, okay? So now I'm gonna bring this piece over. Now I just need to hold this down because I do, oh, is mine? Yeah, mine can get through. Okay, so you don't want it to get wayward. Once I'm holding this down, it's pretty secure. So, you know, I can bend it a little. My tube's not going anywhere. And I'm just gonna cut right through here with my jeweler's saw. So, I'm gonna put this right in my bench. What? You wanna come in? Oh, I thought you were talking to me. These guys, I thought they were. These guys are getting all the gems off that you guys get. All the gems are getting in the mail today. Everything's organized. Okay, this is my jeweler's saw. This is in chapter 2 of my book. I have an hour-long technique on YouTube with my jewelry technique. It's just not on my normal site. I usually put a little bit of this cut lube in here, but you know what? I really try to make sure it's not stuck onto my blade, because if I have too much on here, it just kind of gets in the way, so I can't really see my line where to cut. This one I don't really need to, and you guys can you guys see? I'll maybe try to do it this way so you can see a little better. Okay. Yeah, you guys can see better. Okay, so the nice thing is I'm just getting in. It's kind of like a hacksaw. You know, we're not used to using our jeweler blades this way, but it still get hot. There we go. Okay, so this one is done. I'm gonna open up my jeweler's saw. I have it. I can cut 20 of these this size if I want to. Now, my side, you know, both sides look really beautiful and flush. Anytime you want your sides flush, you really need to use your jeweler saw. You know, I have a lot of people that are like, Okay, let's see if there's any questions. Let me see. Love seeing your messy. I'll pick it up and I'll move it. I'll show you guys my messy desk. Oh my gosh. It's so reassuring, isn't it? Because sometimes I go in, sometimes I feel like, oh my God, there is like 3 years of dirt and dust in here. But when I see another silversmith, there's like 10 years. You know what I mean? Like, I moved to this space 10 years ago. So, or I'm sorry, I moved to my space just 3 years ago. So I just have 3 years accumulation. But some people have more. I'll have more in about another 7 years. Okay, see this? This is going to be an easy solder. My bezel's already done. This is more the finish work. So as you guys know, I definitely would flex it, put a little bit of medium on there, maybe, you know, let it flow, lay this piece on top and just continue to let it flow. And now I'll have a piece done this way. When I go to get it onto the next layer, I'm gonna probably work it this way. You know, this is gonna be on my bench. This will be nice and sturdy, but this is gonna go on top of here. And then I'm gonna bring my flame up and under here, like this. And that's gonna be the best way for your flame. I think, you know, one of the things about when you're doing your work is that, you know, it's always a question of where do I point my flame? How hot do I need my flame? They're all those questions. Making Connection, the new edition, will be released the last part of 2021. Absolutely. So, you know, you know, I know you guys have seen the cuff that went to Milan Jewelry Week. The cuff I used a lot of cold joints on. This is the shed. This is the naturally shed moose antlers that a friend of mine gets me from Alaska. And in fact, some people ask me for these. I'll have these on my site, not this Friday, but next Friday. I've got like 12 of these, and I picked out a couple because I want to do a whole slew of them. And I asked for, you know, I've got some nice straight ones on here, so we can put our filigree on here if we want, and our beads. So I know there were some people that, I mean, how can you not? I love them to death. And, you know, so like I told you, for that technique, I'd love to do, you know, just some beautiful, you know, to me, always fresh and new is pretty good and pretty cool. So, and that's just like a little taste of Making Connections. And so I do want to show you guys, I'm going to show you which book, Making Connections, right? Are you talking to me, Christy? Are you talking to me? So I want to show you guys, I ended up also from my friend in Alaska. I asked him for more walrus slices because last time I didn't get enough. And so I actually, you know, when I order things for myself, I just get in abundance. So this one right here is the Making, it's going to be backwards. You guys are going to see it backwards, but this is how it looks now. But we're going to have a whole new cover, all new work. I'm going to have different artists in there. I'll do some new film on new ways that I'm using riveting in my work. Does that make sense? So I did get some more gorgeous mastodon shards, and so I'll show you guys a little bit. You guys said you wanted to see my bench. You guys get to see my bench. Is that crazy or what? But there is a plant right there giving me some oxygen. Here's my nice anvil all set up. And the reason I picked up the phone and walked away is because I wanted to show you guys this piece that I'm working on. This one, I'm telling you, I was working on, you know, I'm working on, and you're going to see close up. It's like, this was one of the questions yesterday. I'm building a cap, but the cap on here is very unique, and it's built to sit this way. You can see all the really interesting shards and pieces and parts. This is just one layer in, like, I'm going to probably have 4 layers, and this is one. And then this is another piece I actually have super long. Why not, guys, right? Why not? Why do we think we have to just wear little bitty tassels? Why couldn't this come all the way down, right? Right? Isn't that the way life is? So these are nice, thicker ones, you know, even if they are small, they're, you know, they're nice, thick ones that are coming in. The ones I did from the earrings, I chose super light ones because I wanted to, you know, I just wanted to make sure that we had these in there, you know, that they were nice and light. I'm always looking for nice and light. Today I didn't wear my earrings because I wanted a different look here. So, yeah, get on my email list if you guys aren't on my email list. Tomorrow for the sale, I want to tell you that I have a lot. Actually, there were so many people that requested the earring holders, and they sold right away. Where do I have my earring holders? Do you guys want to see them? Should I go grab them? And then I also have a necklace holder. I'll grab that too. Hang on one second. Talks amongst yourself. Okay, you guys, for us jewelers, because I'm always like, I have a couple of these in my house. I always think of what would I want. You know, for me, I was like, oh my gosh, I love waking up and in the morning when I wake up, I love seeing my jewelry by my side. Do you know what I mean? It's like, or my jewelry, like it just, these are my, I'm building them because they're my vibration, they're my happiness, they're my, everything in here. So, this is done where I can have two of these. I have two of these sitting on my dresser, and you could stack as high or as low as you want. So these are $70, and these are on my site. You're welcome to buy one or two. Last time they sold out so quick, so there wasn't really anyone who asked me, but this is Matt built these for us. So, and then I wanted to show you guys, so I do have a free course, as Christine is putting up there. I have a free course, Alchemy of Soldering. Get on my mailing list. You can see my nomadic toolkit. Oh, it's a lovely nomadic toolkit. I'm using it now. We're going to be bringing it to Mexico. We're bringing it to Morocco. The nomadic toolkit fits literally in a backpack. It weighs, I forgot how much it weighs, maybe 14 pounds. But it's pretty cool. If you guys want a free, I just got a really nice comment that I love. There was someone, we put a lot of the graduates on my site, on my Susan Lennart Instagram site. I'm pretty active there. Well, you guys are on here because you know me from my Instagram, right? But there was a comment that I loved. It said, it's on Susan, it's on one of the artist jewelry. And there was a person that said, oh my gosh, I ended up taking the course Intentional Metalsmithing because she could see her friend's work just grow. This Intentional Metalsmithing is a course that is progressive and holistic. It's not just project by project by project. It's just more of a right brain approach. I encourage you to stay inside of a technique for a period of time. And we're going to be opening this course. The last time we opened it up was we opened it up informally, but we're opening it up to a whole new group and the next 2 weeks, and actually then we'll open it up a week from now, where you can come in, sign up, start from the beginning, get onto our private course. We have a fabulous community that's on there. Everybody helps each other. It's really beautiful. It's kind of like the vibration just, gets around. So what day is shop update? So tomorrow, I just have more gems on there, the new gems that I got in. So tomorrow at noon Eastern, right? Noon Eastern, 9 o'clock on the West Coast. And it's really the stands, gems. This actually, I wanted to show you guys this because this is one of my pieces. For me, it's like we need to honor our jewelry that we're building, which is why I'm doing, having Matt build these stands for all of us and for me. So this actually has a wall attachment that has a beautiful wall attachment that you drill in. Beautiful, squared off nails come with the stand, and it just fits into the wall and it hangs out. So you have negative space in between. And this is so you can get a light in here and see a beautiful shadow in the back. And, so you really, it's more dramatic. Our work is something that we want to show on the wall, better ways. Yeah. So I'm going to have these. I just have two of them now. I think these are like 150. But really, it's a beautiful, I love to see, there was years ago when I was in Paris, I actually went to the Calder Museum, and I have Calder's book. We all have his book. We love his work, But when I went to the Museum of, it was the, Modern Art Museum. It was a Calder exhibit, and I got to really see what his pieces were about. They weren't just about wearing them flat. They were about shadow and light. Wow, those mobiles that he made, he had a lot of those. And it was light shone on it, and they stood from the wall, and they were all about shadow and light. So that's what life is about, is like getting up, having your energy and your love and your pieces and your gems and your objects and your work. Oh my gosh. I love sleeping in my room that has my stuff and makes me feel safe. Whenever I'm traveling, I pull out my things and I feel nice and safe, and it helps me to live my life intentionally and the way that I'm meant to live it. You know what I mean? Like every time we can get more into who we are as individuals, we're stronger and we're more powerful, and we're offering the world a gift. just to be ourselves. And that's what intentional metalsmithing is all about. It's like giving you techniques, giving you strategies, giving you ways you could build your jewelry, but also ways you could sell your jewelry and ways you can, the book coming out, Intentional Metalsmithing, goes with the course as an ebook. And it is, thank you, right, see? Brava! There's Cyclops Opera, guys. This is the sculpturist, Cyclops Opera. If you guys saw any of my work from years ago, I did a whole circus troupe. This is my sister Linda, and we are like obsessed with circus. And we were a few years ago. So she actually did all of this beautiful carving of figurative. And then I would just take like a head, and I loved expressing it with my metal. Thank you. That was so nice. See? So that's kind of, if you guys popped onto Cyclops Opera, you could see just Linda, she's not really out there selling her work. She's kind of doing it for herself right now. But it's really beautiful. See? So anyway, all right. So you guys, that's the update on Friday. The following Friday will be these, I actually got in a lot of those shards. So I have a lot of the Mastodon shards. I have a lot of walrus slices if anybody needs more, and I have a lot of the Bangle bracelets, and I'm going to be working on mine this week, so don't worry. So as you guys know, I try to keep Jewelry Talk, the new way I'm doing these, is to try to keep it to 30 minutes, because I'm like, man, I don't want to show up for an hour. You guys are crazy. So let me see. I always have anxiety when not at home. You take your favorite pieces with me, and I feel so much better. Bravo, you figured it out. You figured it out. Isn't that amazing? Because, and thank you for the compliment. Should be. And your jewelry, if you're in intentional metalsmithing, your jewelry will be so beautiful to display. And even if you display, just like if you wear small jewelry, a little collection like this hanging from the wall, you're still going to get gorgeous, movement when the wind comes in, and shadow and movement and light hanging from any of these pieces. So, that really is what life is about. And I love that you said that when you bring your pieces around you, because they are you, Look in your drawers for the objects that you collect. Look around you for the colors that you love having around you, and those are your power pieces. Those are pieces that will help you grow and more into your own work. And believe me, I'm still growing. The key to freedom is in your head. That was one of my pieces. Do I have it in here? That was one of my pieces. I'll show you guys one of the figurative. I know. Here it is. The key to freedom is in your head was a piece that won an international award with Ornament Magazine. Here it is. So Linda carved the head for me, but I cast him in resin. He is the only key that opens this lock up here. The only key is in his head. And as you can see, I just love expressing, I just love expressing. You can see he's tangled. He's contemplated. He's, crazily thinking about how should he, how can he get undone? And that's exactly where I was at. I found my work was all about me. That's, it's like as an artist, when I did those figurative pieces, I realized I was just expressing myself about me. At that time, I was so locked in, So I don't have walls to hang it on, but 4 mannequins, dress forms that hold my pieces. Wow, Sherry, you must have your walls all full of art pieces then, right? That's awesome. I love that for you because you have that real pretty look too. So I think you really like that pretty look in there with the mannequins. How nice is that? Okay, let's see. How do we sign up for Intentional Metalsmithing class? Oh, Blue Sky Blackbird. That's a beautiful name. You sound like you're my kind of people, and I'd love to have you in there. So just go ahead and email Christina. It has an email up there, and actually Christina can get it on there. So, or put in your mailing list. Make sure you sign up for the mailing list. Hop onto my site. If you guys haven't seen, I updated my bio and my artist statement and bio on Jewels of the Nomad. And it's, I know a lot of people, there's a beautiful performance because for me, the work is about movement and flow, but also I got my Milan Jewelry Week that I do with Vogue Accessories. I have that whole collection. It was photographed in Milan. It looks beautiful on there. It looks so beautiful together. And you'll see some of the hinges where I use this technique that I showed you today. Does that make sense? so good, you guys. Well, I'm so happy to see you guys. I always so much look forward to seeing my people and my group. I love intentional metalsmithing. As soon as you sign up for even one of the classes, so for Blue Sky Blackbird, you get a free alchemy of soldering to get you started. That one is free. It talks about the whole toolkit. It introduces you to the tools and the beginning soldering, and you make like a simple ring. And then, chapter 1 is expanded. Chapter 2 is, oh my gosh, the wires. You get into really an introduction of wires. Chapter 3 is now what do you do with the wires? It's caging techniques that are amazing. I say they're amazing because I'm reworking on them again. And then it's like I always give you eye candy and something to strive towards. It's like, yes, you get things laid out for you here, but then there's pictures of what is in intentional metalsmithing. And because better to use your own brain and your own creativity and invent your work. I could give you step by step of every single thing, but I'm spoon feeding you. That's what I did in workshops. This is your opportunity in intentional metalsmithing to learn the techniques, and at the end of the chapter, I suggest taking a month in each chapter. At the end of the chapter, just look at all this eye candy on the way things are built, and you know how to build it because you just got done with the chapter. When you do hollow forms, so this is like the wire chapter, this is the last chapter on scraps, this is all on wires and building filigree, this is on hollow forms, this is on ring, so it's like all the layers of everything is in here, so when you get all of them, you just start accumulating, your work gets more and more complex. And I have seen the first group. They're amazing. And some people are on here from that first group. So, oh my gosh. Well, I love you guys so much. And I did promise I'm 7 minutes over, but I usually am going to try to keep it down. Let me scroll and, I missed the scroll. Let me see. Everything's on my website. And yes, the Milan photos are on, if you go to either my website, SusanLeonardKasmer.com or Jewels of the Nomad. You get on there, and that's where you guys shop for the jewels, for the gems and the jewelry. But up in the right-hand corner, there's About Susan. Hop on there, and you can see how the pieces are photographed this year. They're gorgeous. I'm really excited. And you guys can see, I'm kind of getting ready for this next layer that's going on, So I'm building 3 pieces that will just all be full and work together. And, I don't know. It's actually what I might do. You guys can see on my site, I have a performance with the pieces I did last year. I don't know what it's going to be this year. I mean, I kind of know. I'm super excited about this idea that may happen in the fall. So we'll see. All right, you guys. So thank you so much for being here. Christina put up all the links and stuff. How long is the intentional metalsmithing class? So the intentional metalsmithing class there's 6, okay, so you get the free one, which is alchemy and soldering, and there's 6 different segments. I suggest that you stay in it for 6 months. Take 1 chapter a month, even if you pay for the chapter. As soon as you take alchemy and soldering, you've got work to sell. So people can support you into buying into this course. And we don't have the book finished yet, but there is a book coming. And, then you start with the first one. And the best, I know it's so hard. My first group, when we met together, our first group, they only got 1 at a time. And I met with everyone, and I meet within the group, and we talk about things, and we answer questions. I do. And, within the group, the first week you blow through the techniques. The second week you go in and you do the techniques and you refine it. The third week you try different exercises and explore. The third week is really like a wrapping up, and hey, if you see some pieces that inspired you, you get in and you try to build, and go over all your mistakes. It's so wonderful to stay in each technique for a month. This is your lifetime access, so you don't have to blow through things. Then you go into the next chapter. So I love it when people will stay in the course for 6 months. It's beautiful. So I'm so excited. Yay! So thank you guys so much. It's self-paced, so you can go when you want to. Yes, we'll give you guys the details of it. I go live in the group once a month. I'm always on there. Oh, thank you, Madeline. She said it's a great investment and a fabulous course. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be here for Jewelry Talk. just wearing different pieces all the time. Thank you guys so much who showed up for the sale that I had on my gems, because I brought in a lot more. Not that anybody needs them, right? Who knows? Anyway, I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.